Welcome to Let's Learn Railway Empire 2 together. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to the continuation of our Let's Learn Railway Empire 2 together series. We're going to give it a go on Mission 3. We are set in the Great Plains. We start in Kansas City in 1868. There are 19 cities and 58 rural businesses, which seems like a fairly good ratio. It seems like we'll have decent raw materials to work with. And let's see what we got here. Westward advance. After the end of the Civil War, old dreams thrive again. Businessman Cyrus K. Holliday trusts you to run his company and conquer the American Midwest with railroads and new settlers. Connect Topeka to Santa Fe and complete the famous Santa Fe route. With a connection to the Southern Pacific, you will also create a transcontinental railway route. And by the way, I'd love some feedback on the sound. I've discovered some serious errors I had in my sound setup. I've gotten a lot of different comments about the sound. I've done two things: improve my Blue Yeti mic setup, hopefully a lot. And secondly, I've just ditched all the system sounds. I got the digital soundtrack, and now I'm just playing the digital soundtrack in the background rather than what's coming through the game. Some of the sounds, I gave the game a great review, but some of the sounds suck. They need some work on the sound effects and stuff like that. So I've got all that turned off. All right, we're going to be the General Donovan. He has secure logistics, 10% higher revenue from freight and mail. Strict regiment, he's 30% lower track construction costs, and down to earth 30% higher costs for tunnels and bridges. So he is a vastly improved general from Railway Empire. These two are very much like the old Railway Empire general, and that's a bonus that's great. Higher revenue from freight and mail. So that means your passenger lines and your freight lines, will be getting a little bonus. That's a good thing. Let's keep going. All this is standard. We've been through all this before. The one thing I would note here is city founding. And I will confess I have seen this already. I'm trying to slow down and act like I haven't so I can show you guys everything. But I've seen it before because I kind of got impatient. Those scores out there get me. I'm very competitive, and I wanted to go out and just play it really fast, without taking the time to explain things. And I was doing great. I was very happy with where I was, and I ran into improvement opportunity where the passenger lines wouldn't work at all. It was very strange. I'm going to try to document it and send it in so it can be fixed. Hopefully it won't pop up in this playthrough. But I do know city founding is turned on, and we'll be able to go out and actually find some spots on the map where we can actually found a city, similar to the way we did it in Railway Empire in the Australia DLC. All right, let's go.
I intended to realize the Nord Express more with the pen than with the sword. Nevertheless, I had learned from history to be prepared for all eventualities. Rigid national borders have always limited the spatial expansion of European companies and rail networks. But in America, the sky was the limit. As late as 1869, several parties had cooperated to complete the first transcontinental railroad. But soon after, the various individual players began to realize their own mammoth projects. In their dogged race, the companies kept getting in each other's way. But in the Wild West, anything was allowed.
Okay, so here's an example of the sound turned off. You can read that at your leisure. It's basically him blabbering away about how he tried to found Topeka and all that good stuff. So let's go while he's talking. Let's go look at our trains. We've got 14 trains here to look at, and unfortunately his stuff's going to get on the top of it. I'll give you the highlights. Basically, the trains are the old Reindeer, which was an express train, the American, which we ran in Mission 2 as our freight train, the Limit, which is a mixed use that's from the Alpine region. We probably won't be using it, but we won't be using it. The Philadelphia, which was one of my favorites in Railway Empire. A lot of gold rush stuff was done with Philadelphia. The Rensselaer, which was kind of the express train, popped up here in 1852. The Tyson 10-wheeler, a mixed use. The Dragon, which has pretty good tractive power for back in that time. The Rogers Mogul, which is pretty decent, relatively fast, but relatively expensive mixed-use train. The Hulda as an express train from Germany. The Rogers American is an express train. And let me just take quickly here, just to step back for a minute. As part of our learning process, some of us, I've had questions about, could you walk through the train types and how does that matter? Well, it comes down really to this. Let's keep it very simple. You want your express train to go fast and get there, and you want it to be popular because that'll cause you to have more people to want to ride it. Some of the trains way back in the day, the steam trains were set up where you couldn't hardly ride the train behind it because it would be so awful, it would gag you. That's one problem. Most of them have, a way to get that steam up above, right? To get up above so it's flowing across above you. But the big thing is here for our ratings, our purposes, look at popularity. You want high popularity. You want high speed, and the tractive power is basically the ability of the engine to move from a dead stop or to move up an incline or something like that where they need a lot of traction. And you'll typically see on the express trains, you'll see good speed and low traction and good popularity. That's kind of you're not looking for low traction. It'd be fine to have high tractive power, but you're really looking for the speed and the popularity. And then the other things to look at, you want a high reliability so that the train doesn't break down a lot, and you want the lowest maintenance requirements you can get, because we can see here if we hover like that, see that research minus 15%? That means that there's research we could do to make that lower. So lower is better for the maintenance. The reliability you want higher. And the consumption, you can see here again, we can lower it. You want the lowest consumption. So 0 would mean that this guy does not take any extra sand or oil or water over what a different train might take. Like we saw in Railway Empire, we saw the old mod was horrible. It just consumed a lot more than everybody else. And it was slow and it was expensive. And other than that, it was awesome. Okay, so that's an express train. Now, if we look at, here's a freight train, the consolidation. You'll notice that speed tends to be a little lower, but the tractive power tends to be a little higher, meaning this thing could come from a dead stop, get traction and move a heavy load better. It could handle hills, mountainous areas a little better. But you'll notice the popularity is not going to be as high. You could certainly use this as a passenger train, no problem. But you'd rather have the one that had the higher popularity to attract more customers. The maintenance requirements you can see are well, let's just see. What was the Rogers? Yeah, see this one's actually a little cheaper to run because the maintenance is a little lower, but the reliability is 112. This one's actually more reliable. So you may have to maintain it more, but it's actually more reliable out in the field and less likely to break down on you. And we see a little bump in consumption with the consolidation. It's going to use up a bit more resources, and it's going to have to hit those supply towers and stay there longer when it runs than the one in front of it would have, the Rogers American. The Baldwin 10-wheeler is a very good freight train for this period, decent speed and good tractive power. And again, you could use it as on all your lines if you wanted to. Reliability is 122, so that would be, it's better than the consolidation, but not as good as the Rogers American, right? And so you kind of get the idea. And then the Forkno, I believe this is French, and it's an express train. See the high speed, relatively low traction, high popularity. But now if you compare this one, let's see, the Inyo. Now, a mixed. Here's one that's got good speed and good traction. This is a good train, kind of a combo train. So if you just wanted to run one train, this would be a good choice because it's got decent speed and decent popularity, even for considering it's not a specialty train, so to speak. Reliability is a little down. Maintenance is a little high. So this one's a kind of expensive to run, but a good mixed train. So basically what you're looking at, if you look at mixed, it's one that can kind of do both, right? It could double up. Your auto lines, if you have automatic lines you're running, a mixed engine would make a lot of sense because sometimes it'll have passengers, sometimes mail, sometimes cargo, usually a combination of all those, or often a combination of all those. So that would be a good train for that. And then when you have like an express-only line where you're going to just haul passengers and mail, you want your express train. And if you're going to haul just freight, you want a freight train. I mean, it's really that simple. Okay, did we see them all? Yeah, we saw all the trains. Let's go look at our research. And I'm trying to just make a point of slowing down. I was trying to speed up, and it just doesn't work. And it's also, I don't think, what the people who watch my videos are looking for. I think you're looking for some honest-to-God help. Now, having done this multiple times now, I'm getting familiar with this research tree. I'm also seeing that you get different ones each time you queue it up. Every time you start it up, like this guy will be available for research one time, the next time you already have it, okay? So you kind of take what you got here, or you start over if you don't like it. I suppose you could do that. We're going to go back here. I see way back here we've got number of passengers. Let's just go for that right off the bat. More passengers. That's a good thing. We've got another 100 points. They come in units 100, 200, 300, and equivalent to the stars. If you have one star, it means you've got at least 100 points of research available. If you've got 2 stars, it's 2, 3 is 300. Let's see. What do we got here? We could reduce the cost of our personnel. That would be great, but I think right up here, increase the amount of packages in all cities with one of your train stations. So that's saying that you're going to get more. I'm 90% sure that means more mail. Somebody can. Yeah, it's almost got to be. It's got to be. And you can see all the things that we have already been given, lots of nice trains and all that. So we're well down this. And we're just going to go, as we do our research, we're going to just kind of go back and fill in the blanks. This one's actually pretty good. This one's better, I think, than other ones I've had. You know, I restarted 2 or 3 times trying different strategies for going fast. And I tried just making another video for you, just like this one, and ran into some... I just got frustrated with it and quit. And so here I am again. You can see though, this is pretty good. We got a pretty nice setup here. All right, there's a good one we'd want to get more revenue for those mailbags. So if we're going to get more mailbags, then let's get more revenue for them. But that's the only thing that makes me suspicious. Why didn't they use consistent language? But they don't always, so let's not put too much stock in that. All right, let's go look at our personnel before we get going. I think that HBalk was saying that I had goofed this up. Let's see, it was supposed to be 10 hours. So does that make them more efficient? That makes them less efficient. They work a little overtime, but then you make up for that with your training. And by having them work overtime, you need less people, in theory. And it seems to me like you bump this way up, and then you drop this down to 50%. So you don't have to recruit as hard because you're giving lots of training and great benefits. I mean, these people can take half a day off, without pay, of course, at the birth of their child, stuff like that. So you're giving great benefits to everybody. And I think that's it. Let's go with that one. And guys, watch this and tell me if I got it right or not. We'll go 10 hours, all training, all welfare, and we won't have to recruit so hard. And that should do it. Okay, so we've worked our way across all of this. Let's see what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to deliver 12 loads of lumber to Topeka, 8 loads of corn to Topeka, transport 250 freight cars, that's wagons of freight, and advertise a settler bonus. This is new. Select Topeka and activate the settlement bonus to quickly increase the number of citizens. Okay, so that's one we can do right away. Well, we've got $2 million to work with, and we go back here and we look around and say, wow, check this out. Here's a $400,000 bonus. So 400, here's one, 600, 800, 900, $1 million in bonuses that we can get. So we got 2, we can get $1 million, and we can get a bond. We should be able to open a bond, and that's going to give us a lot of money. And we can also see that there are some regions. There's Nebraska, which costs $187 to get into. There's Wyoming up here, which costs $172. This is still part of us. We have access up here. And we can access all the way down to here. This is our opponent. And we got the New Mexico territory, which we're blocked from, and North Texas, which we're blocked at this point, and Oklahoma, which costs $150. And their prices may go up a little bit over time, but I know you can get them cheaper, go right now, but that's not the way we're going to do this. I'm going to try also to build something kind of very straightforward, simple, using the game, so to speak. My ultimate goal would be to have really a separate freight and passenger station in each city, and if not 2 freight stations and a passenger, but certainly both. But I think what we'll start with is the idea that we're running one set of tracks and potentially putting in, let's just see. Let me just see if I can show you. I think we're going to do your classic, this is what everybody does, and it has mixed reviews from me, but I think it'll work. I think we'll be fine. We're going to go and put a line like this and build. Now, do we dare just do? We're going to start off with just a basic double track with the grids. Okay, simple as we can be, straight out of the box, vanilla game, the way the game is designed. And we'll start with a single line. So our passenger lines and our freight lines will be sharing the track, but we will separate the lines into passenger and freight. And really, to make this work, I want to get like a 3-city cluster going. So we're going to go down here to Wichita, and then we will connect We'll connect Wichita to Topeka, and then we will double track that and put in our gridiron, our signals, and set our directions. Now, let's picture what's going to happen. What I'm seeing here is, I actually think this is an H-balk arrangement here that we're about to do. I would think of it too as like the Johnny Hughes 3-city cluster with a pass-through warehouse in the middle. That's really what this is. This is the RE2 version of that. So we're going to have a warehouse here in Topeka, and we're going to bring stuff into that warehouse that we need, and then it'll automatically go out if we have freight lines running or automatic lines running that will distribute it to the cities. And then then our target will be, in fact, it's not just a target, we're going to do it. We're going to, well, first of all, before we do anything, we're going to get that bonus. So down here on the city, on this particular map, we have a settler bonus. We can pay $500. Now, if we want to wait, we can pay less, let the city grow some. It only works up to 10,000. So if you had like 9,000 people in Topeka, when you hit this, it'd be a lot less. We're going to pay the full amount. We want it to grow right away. But we do have to get it growing, right? I just wanted to get that task done on day one so that we could, it's hard to do it much faster than that. Okay. Our bonuses. Let's go. Let's see how far we can get this set up. Okay. All right. Now, first thing we see, we want to run the logs into Topeka. And we would like to have a straight line in there and not have to go around anything to get over there, right? So we're going to use the little Steve Gooch trick. I hope, Steve, that I'm doing this the way you are describing, but if I'm not, then I love this anyway. It'll be my trick. Okay, we're just going to touch this track right here and start a piece of track. And because it's touching track that's in there going to that station, it's legit to go through here. See how we're getting the white line? And we can go all the way over here and connect into that and make this beautiful piece of straight track that's just going to run right diagonally right through the expanded Kansas City. That allows us to run right through Kansas City, and then we can just go off of that and go ahead and hook into the line that's going back and forth there that eventually ends up in Topeka. We build that, and then we don't even need this piece anymore. We can just kill it. And now we've got a line going to Topeka. And we know from experience with the game so far that it doesn't take the spamming of lots of trains like the original game. So we're just going to set up a tiny little piece of double track here. And the only purpose for that is to allow the signals to work, period. Because if we just run a single piece of track into double track, the automatic signaling system that they use, and yes, I do miss the original, will not allow us to do that. However, if we just put that little piece there so that it all looks like it's double track, it'll work. Now, it's going to give us a warning when we go like this and say, okay, take a full load of logs over to Topeka. Now what we're going to do is set it up as a freight line. And when it says choose locomotive, notice how the Baldwin popped up. What it'll do is pick the latest of the engines that match that criteria. So a freight train, it's going to pick the Baldwin, and that's what we're going to run. We're going to run, and we'll get this warning. This is throwing some people. Your train line runs on long sections without direction and tracks with direction. To avoid waiting times on these tracks, you should avoid such combinations. Absolutely true, but if you want to save some money and you have a reasonable understanding of what you're doing, it's perfectly okay to do that. So we're going to do that, and we're going to send the logs into Topeka. Then we're going to send the grain in, and we've got an Indian village right here, Indian settlement, or what do they call those things? Indian village. I think what we're going to do, though, based on other things that could happen with this grain, we're going to run like this. and hook it into this track right here. And when I said do it this way, as opposed to going this way and taking a absolutely, a direct route, we'll take this route, which actually is less track, which is probably better anyway. And keep in mind these trains, because again, the game doesn't require you to spam 100 trains to bring grain to the city. These trains will tend to sit out in the out here at their rural station a fair amount of the time anyway. So the idea of having the most direct route there is not as important because we don't have to run as many trains. All right, so let's go here and run full, and this will be another freight. The Baldwin will work. Same morning, so we won't go through it again. So now we've got grain headed to Topeka. We've got logs headed to Topeka. We would like to have these cities talk to each other. So we're going to do two things with that. We're going to create a line here, 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 and here. And this one's going to be an express line. So we're going to give it the 3 cars because we can get 25% ticket revenue bump, 25% mail bump, and we're already getting 10 for our character, and I think we got 10 for our research, didn't we? So we're going to get a nice bump on this, and the caboose is going to make another 10% on our efficiency. I don't know if that actually adds to the 125. Does anybody know? If it doesn't, the way we're doing this, it's actually using the caboose is actually wrong because it just makes it heavier for partial loads and it takes up a space for full loads. We'll run it for now, but somebody in the comments let us know if you've maxed out your employees through the way you're doing your recruiting and your pay and all that. Do you really need a caboose? Is it bringing you anything? Or could we get a little cheaper here and run at 115 and then, like for example, on our conductors who are only in theory going to be running on these trains anyway, if we could just set them at 115, would we get the 125 by giving them a caboose and then save a little bit more money? Somebody let me know if they have an opinion or if they have any knowledge of that particular idea. And we will. It's picking the fork now. I kind of like the Rogers American, probably because it says American in the name. Yeah, I can't help it. But but this is a great train too. So we're going to run this, and it'll automatically pop up for us. So why not? So we're going to. That's 9.8 days. I honestly would like to have it hit in about every 4 to 5 days, so we don't lose passengers. So I think what I'd love to do is run 2 of these. And it'll auto spread out a little bit, so that's fine. So that was from Kansas City. Let's start down at the other end and run a freight train from here to here to here to here. That gives us our pass-through warehouse. You can see what it can haul at this point. Doesn't need any wagons. We could consider this car. Should we haul this car? It would help us with fruit and milk and veggies. We could think about adding that later. Let's see what one Baldwin will take 14 days. We're running low volumes of stuff right now. I think one train will probably do it, and we'll check on that shortly. Okay. So now we've got passengers running, that's going to pick up this bonus and this bonus. And freight running, same thing. Either one, whichever hits first will pick up these bonuses. And we've got this bonus set up with the logs coming in. We got this bonus set up with grain coming in. Let's go get the corn. So we'll go out here. And let's go below. Let's go below. We're going to go like so. Actually, we're just going to go, let's open up the contours. Let's just go straight across here and hook into the, we can hook into that line. That'll give us a straight shot to Topeka with the corn. And let's go get some more money. So we're going to issue our bond before we get all those bonuses. We could probably wait till after and get a slightly bigger bond, but I want to get this set up now. And when those bonuses hit, we're going to do some rapid expansion if we can. Okay, so that's... And I'm double tracking that all the way because I'm seeing that we can share that line to run out to Denver and all that good stuff. And also, well, not so much. This guy's actually going to come in here. I'm going to figure out how we want to do that. Let's go Lopez Station to Topeka. Corn doesn't help with the wagon, so we will make this a freight. That'll give us the bald one. 24 days. 24 days. Yeah. Okay. So we've got corn, all this stuff. If we could get sugar set up to go, that would be nice. But what we could do to get some more revenue and get some more freight going is grab the wool and bring it to Kansas City, grab the cattle, bring it to Wichita. It's low-hanging fruit. It's needed, so we'll be able to run 1 or 2 trains of it. And yes, it is getting there on its own right now, but we don't have to wait, right? We really don't. So we can go here and come in like this, and we could say... We can either just pick this and loop in, or we can come across and down here. I think what I'd prefer to do actually is have it come. Did we do our? It's hard to see. Yeah. We did our. Get out of this. We did our gridiron there. So let's just pick up right at the gridiron, right there, and come out like this. And come up here and join into that line. Okay. And then like so. Set our signals. Okay. And then go back to track mode and hook this in. Have it come down like that. And go back up. And since it's short, we'll just do it all the way up. And I mean, it's short. We don't, there's no benefit to cutting this off, really. It's such a short line. And we'll set up a line here that runs full and goes into Wichita. And that'll be a freight, which will be our ball one. I like how that works. You pick your type and then you pick the train and it grabs the right train for you. That's kind of cool. Okay, 7.5 days is more than good enough. Okay. We've used up all our money from our loan. Like to get this one going. The first bonus, we'll throw that one in the mix. Okay. So let's just step back here, make sure our trains are running. Get up here at high level, speed this up, and see if our trains are indeed running. There goes our logs. There goes our passenger line. There goes our freight city-to-city line. Haven't seen the grain yet. We did do okay, hold on. We got a bonus. Did we do a line here? I'm having, yeah, we did. Where is that train? What's wrong with it? Rail line incomplete. Edit. Oh, well, maybe if it went somewhere, it would do better. Okay, so Minimum of 8, freight, go. Okay. All right, so the corn is running. And just a quick word on this. The 8 and 12, they're huge differences. The 8 we can get loaded into Topeka right away because Topeka is tiny. Look at it. It's 1,000 people, right? And they consume almost nothing, relatively speaking. We have space here, but their storage, their stock storage, will be small. There's enough we can throw 8 corn in here, but the lumber is not going to fit. I mean, we could put 8 in here, but we need 12. Well, what we've got to do now is they have to consume it in order to open up space here so that we can bring more from out there at the logging camp, right? So the key here is to get Topeka growing to finish off that 12 lumber. And it doesn't matter if we put it in a warehouse, of course it's going to get shared with the other cities. But other than the fact that we've got it running full, it makes no difference. It's the same difference. Now, since we've got this one running, and it's already, where is it? Right here. If we look at where it's all headed, see, it's all Topeka, right? And that's because we don't have a warehouse. It wouldn't be sharing it with other people. So now that it's running, we can go ahead and put our warehouse in safely because those first 8 are earmarked for Topeka. Same thing should be with these first 8 here with our, wherever it is. These are logs? No, that's passengers. Right here. The trains are hard to see. See, these are all lumber for Topeka. So we can go ahead and it's safe to put our warehouse in is what I'm saying. And I want to do that because I want to start getting the city growth in this 3-city cluster right away. So we're going to put a warehouse here. And in that warehouse, we're going to put grain and corn and logs and sugar. We're going to put raw materials. We don't need to put beer or meat because our setup of our freight train going back and forth will haul all that stuff between the cities, so we don't have to take up warehouse space with it. And okay, go. So even though we've got that warehouse going now, when this 8 gets here, we're going to get a connection bonus for it. There we go. And we should get credit for 8 against our task list. There we go. We got our 8. But now we've got to grow to Topeka in order to, there, it's starting to grow, but we got to really grow it. That's why I wanted to do that settler thing as soon as possible. So now we've got that going. We've got some passengers going. Our 10-wheeler is actually faster than our express train right now. Okay, we got some money now. Let's stop and think, what do we want to do with it? We want to, I think the key here is expand and grow, expand and grow, expand and grow. I do want to get the sugar going. Let's just take a look at that. Our size here, well, here's an easier way to do it. Flow of goods, sugar. If we step back here, nobody needs it yet, right? They're just not big enough. There is demand somewhere. There's a little demand over here in Denver. Is there a little out here? And is that right? That can't be right. I mean, is that possible? Yeah, they want sugar in Omaha. How about Kansas City? Kansas City wants sugar. They've just started, I guess. All right, let's get sugar. It's on one of the things we want to get. I think we'll run it. Now, we could line it through Dodge City, but I think what we'll do, and by the way, that's Dodge City, so we could be Matt Dillon if we wanted to, but Dodge City is one of the ones we could found. We can found Dodge City, we can found Oklahoma City, and a few others, and we'll talk about that in more detail a little later. But right now, let's get back to the task on hand and build this. I think we'll just run a straight line over to this track and get ourselves lined up. Maintain max speed. That bridge does not need to be there. Okay, that will do. So we got that connected. Do we double track this? I think to save a buck, we will go like this. We'll come off of that main line and just come down and make ourselves a nice little side track, basically, a little passing lane. And with this setup, we could even run a couple of trains if we needed to, if you really wanted to. So let's go up here. Let's make a freight line and have it run full and go to the warehouse. 25 days, that'll work. Okay, it's giving us that same mixed double track, single track message. We're cool with that. Let's get sugar going. We should get that $400,000 bonus fairly soon, I would think. It doesn't do a great job with the track thing telling you where your train is, but oh yeah, I'd say we'll get that $400,000 bonus pretty soon. Ooh, could we do something slick with our credit? You might be able to. Okay. Okay, there's a $400,000 bonus for bringing corn, and notice that completed that corn task. Okay, so now let's look at our money again. Now we could pay that off. It costs us $28,000, but I have a feeling if we pay that off, we've got 816 right now. I'm going to do this, and we'll see if we gain money. We just want as much money as early as we can get it. So if we pay this off now, we have 200,000, and we can write one for 600. We gained a little bit of money, and probably gained about what we paid in the penalty. So that wasn't a brilliant maneuver, but we got some more money. Okay. Okay. Well, that's worth knowing. It really wasn't buying us a whole lot. Let's grab this low-hanging fruit right up here. We want to run freight cars, and it's money, and we'll make it'll eventually make a profit. The return on investment will be slow because, again, in this game you don't run that many trains. So I think you have to be very careful when you invest in a new train that you actually are going to have a line that you're interested in having. Right? It kind of matters. Okay. We're going to double track this because we're actually going to use this track to get up there to, I think it's Omaha. We'll bring it in like that. We'll use our gridiron on this side. We already have a junction on the other end with a point-to-point. And we'll go, we need to look at supply towers. Let's put one here for that line and this. Let's put one here for the stuff going this way. This guy here doesn't get one, so I think what we'll do here is put a tower here. That'll serve the cattle and the sugar and the corn. We may need another one up this way, but just for now we'll keep it like that and kind of watch to see if we get an error up here. And we still got lots of money. Oh, let's set up our line. We want to have one train here going into Kansas City, a freight, Baldwin, go. Okay. And then let's go on up to here. We have to buy access, and we'll turn it so it can kind of point toward Kansas City, but also then turn to go to North Platte. All right, so we'll go here, And we'll come out and miss the boundaries of our map and come down here and join in with this track we've already built, like so. Build that. Double track it. Like so. And look at the supply depot situation after we get something going here. Now here, I think we'll go with an express train with all the stuff. 154,000. Let's just run till we get some money. You want to expand out your express line capabilities, because every time you add another station, it actually picks up customers for you all along the line, because there's people in Wichita who want to go to Omaha, and if that route, if that capability is there, if they can go bang 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 and get there, then you're going to get more passengers. No, let's not confirm. Oh, I didn't tell it where to go. Okay. And I think I failed to put anything there. And we did set signals. I'm out of sync. Sorry. Let's try this line again. Kansas City to Oklahoma City Express with the cars. Go. Okay. So as I was saying, not only are you getting the 49 passengers and 24 mil going up there, but you're also increasing your volumes here. Now what we want to do, we need to get some maintenance going. We could play without the maintenance. We really could, but we're not going to. I can't see most of you guys playing that way, and want to give you something that you can use and improve upon. And maybe one of the ways you'll improve upon is not do maintenance. We'll see. But we got enough money now, we can put maintenance. We're going to put maintenance in kind of our central place here, because everybody goes there. All of the freight we've brought in so far, plus our city-to-city lines, all touch Topeka, except for this guy. And he will probably get maintenance out here in Omaha to set up a new little deal up here, a new cluster. So let's just see what this Kansas City to Omaha passenger line brings us. It's 93 passengers and like 69 mail. Should be pretty good. On an express train, 27,000. Good. Okay. What are we trying to accomplish? See, now we're at 11 of 12, and we're hauling our cargo. So anything we could do to pick up more cargo would help us. Anything we could do to grow Topeka. But we're already growing Topeka as fast as it's going to go. Right? Now the other thing we could look at is what's the size of Wichita? It's 20. These are small towns. Kansas City's 23. Okay. It's only a one green, but it should improve. If we look at this, look at our warehouse. So there's a lot of stuff going on. That also tells me we're probably need another train to do that freight. The line Wichita to Topeka. This guy here probably needs a helper. Let's bump that up and run another train on that line. And he's going to wait a while because they're starting down here at the same end. That waiting for deployment sometimes is just simply, I want to stagger my line out. You also occasionally get a message called increasing distance, which just means that train is waiting to make sure that his line is properly spread out. Now we got a small breakdown. We'll probably have to let that go. All right, we want to go ahead and get on out here to North Platte. That would be nice, because there's nothing else we can do. I mean, we can just get more freight, right? So we could set up another if this is a 3-city cluster, we could let this participate on both ends of it. Actually, that wouldn't be bad either. You got Kansas City, Omaha, North Platte, and use Omaha like Topeka and just kind of piggyback them together. And Kansas City would do double duty because now you got meat, now you got beer, and then you got the cloth coming out of here. So you got a nice little starting set there. We got some more research. Let's get some more money out of our mailbags because we've got passenger lines running. And let's see if we can't. I'm going to be very conservative here. I'm going to put the maintenance depot in Omaha. And we're going to plan on Kansas City, Omaha, North Platte as a 3-city cluster with a warehouse. Well, let's use the same design. I mean, we could do something a little different, but let's just use the same design. A 3-city cluster with these three, pass-through warehouse here. We'll bring stuff in. Now, the only thing is that we got two right next to each other. Those are always kind of tempting to go a different route. Where are we on our money? We'll keep an eye to see when we might be able to open another bond. Let's start hauling logs into Omaha. We know even our eventual design, we're going to want logs going to Omaha. So we'll just go in here like this. Yeah. Let's double track it. Nope. Let's not. Let's get the train running first. We'll double track later. Here to here. Run full. Freight. Baldwin. We need 68,000 to get that train going. Oh, I know what I wanted to do next. As soon as we get this going, we're going to go build some buildings. Arguably should have done that sooner. Okay, that's fine. You can just run back and forth. He should be able to run through there. Okay. Yeah, that figures. Okay, we do need a supply tower on this. We have one, don't we? No, but they're hard to see. Put one there. Yeah, this train here needs oil, or needs supplies of some sort. Okay. And is this train? Yes, he's working. We are delivering wood up there to Omaha. Here's some more low-hanging fruit, this cattle. But what I started to say, I want to beef these up a little bit. We want to start putting in post offices and restaurants. I like that particular combo. Let's put in a restaurant because we can afford it. That's just going to bump up our income. There's our first quarter in the books. How'd we do? Not very well. We did very, very poorly because if you think about it, we had $1 million in bonuses and we made $860, so we lost money. Our miscellaneous expenses. Well, then we did buy our way into another territory, which costs a lot, and we have our loans, maintenance, and staff. We're okay. We're doing okay. So if we can bump this up, even the little train coming back, that little puny train from Omaha. Is that what that was? Oh, I think there's a mistake on this line. That's the problem. I think I've got this line messed up. I don't think it's running full. And I really do want it to. I don't want it to be just running down there dropping off one thing. There's no point in it. I think I got it too late that time, but it'll do better in the future. Okay. So next thing we want here would be a post office for $68,000. And we'll just we'll build this up while we're waiting on, well, oh gosh, we're almost there. You know what we probably could do? This train, if it has anything for Topeka, it does. It has one for Topeka. So we're going to change its route so that it doesn't have to have a full load and let it go. Now it should take off. There you go. And then we're going to change the route back to run full in the future. And that way we can get that task knocked off. And that'll give us this one and this one too. I mean, we're going to be done with this first set very, very shortly. Well, we got 102. All right. Okay, that finished the freight, and then this guy here, when he pulls into Topeka, we'll be done with that, and we'll get a new set of stuff. Let's keep an eye on our money. Okay, we still can't issue a bond. All right, there we go. Okay, we're 20% complete. See what they ask us to do next. He's talking a lot, so maybe we've already done something. Yep, 7 different goods in Topeka. So we've got beer and meat and these 4. How do we have 7? Oh, and we've got the cloth. So we've got our 7. All right, so let's stop and take a look around. We have to deliver fruit to Wichita. I think we'll do that next episode. In Wichita now, and just to give you what's coming up, what matters here is the fruit won't happen until 45,000 citizens. So we've got a bunch of city growing to do here, but you can see we're doing great, 2, 2, and 2. What we want to do is get another one going where we have a couple more cities growing like that, Omaha and North Platte. And we kind of, like, as we said, we would hook them up with Kansas City and have a line that goes Kansas City, Omaha, North Platte, back, you get the idea. And we'll grow to a couple more cities. That'll give us, kind of ramp up our income a little bit, give us better passenger revenue, give us more freight that we can haul, and all that good stuff. And I think that'll be the plan. This one, Nebraska looks rich. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here. There's also something we could do that wouldn't be a bad thing at all, to pop into Denver, and we could easily get corn and grain and sugar into Denver just very, very easily, and think about that. But anyway, we'll get to all that in the next episode.